You've seen it, Mike. You've been there. PTI has kind of been like the standard bear marker, I guess, for sports television and reporting. And even within the dynamics of what's been going on in today's world of media, it's still relevant. It's still, you got two journalists that are there, journalists. And you know, I just wanted to start it off like, how is PTI still like the catalyst and still relevant in today's world of ever-changing media?
Well, man, I appreciate you feeling that way, first of all. So for people listening to us, this will make me feel both proud and old. I got to be there front and center, as you know, for your college career.
I know, man. And
then all the NBA years and the years as a broadcaster now. And I told you, but I needed to let people hear me say that's one hell of a transition, progression that you have made, and I'm proud to see you in these spaces and now the podcast, and hear your voice using the platform. It's great to hear and observe and have a front row seat to all that. And man, our thing, Jim, we're 20. This show is 23 and a half years old, man. You know, and I know you probably thought people were crazy when they put both of us on TV because you knew us in our previous life.
Right, yeah.
And guys that you know that you like, Gary Williams, who was instrumental in our Coach Gary Williams, Hall of Famer, of course, at Maryland, Ohio State. And Gary was one of those people. You know, you have to have people who say to you, who get in your ear when someone wants you to do something different. You have people who get in your ear at times and say, "Hey, are you paying attention? like your comfort zone is not important. This other thing, the world is moving, it's evolving."
Right.
And there were people like Gary. When I say people like, I don't mean Gary was like in the chorus. I mean Gary's voice was important to both Tony Kornheiser and me and Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
You know, Charles took me to dinner and said, "What do you mean you thinking about not doing this show? What are you talking about?"
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Hold on, wait, back up. So you thought about, so you were doing a sports reporter. Now, keep in mind, people got to understand that you and Tony come from a journalistic background.
Yes.
Go in you, what is it? Go in you. How you say it at Northwestern? What's the chant?
Oh, go. You did.
What is it? Go. What?
You said it. You had it.
Yeah, that's it. So, but you come from that because
I went to Northwestern,
right, journalism school.
And Jim, but I wasn't looking. You know, it wasn't my goal. It wasn't my objective to be on the broadcast side. Because you said I was a print journalist. You know, working at the Washington Post.
Right.
And I just wasn't thinking about that. I was comfortable. I was, at the time, to be fair, being compensated in a way I never thought I would. I was, 18, 20, 25, 30 years old. And then, ESPN said, "We want you and Tony to bring what you do as journalists to the screen." We're like, right, get out of here. And the people that knew us, they were, and Charles is, one of my best friends for the last 30 years is Charles Barkley. And I was with Charles. We were working on a book, Jim, and Chuck was like, he heard about the conversations because Charles is getting ready to segue, right? He's getting ready to transition to retirement in his own broadcast career. So he knows these conversations exist for different employers, potentially. And Charles and I were in Atlanta, and we're going to dinner. We went to this place called a Clubhouse in Buckhead, and he said, you got to talk this through. You can't just say no. The world is changing. And so I said, finally, after several of these conversations that Charles had with Tony and me, I said, okay, fine. If we do this, you got to be the first guest. You got to help out.
Throw it back at him. If you go back
and look at the first show, Jim, Charles was
it's Charles.
First guest, first day.
Check out new episodes of The Jim Jackson Show every Thursday. Watch on The Rich Eisen Show YouTube page. Follow the show on Instagram @Jim Jackson Show, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.